today, guys, what I want to talk to you about on these Thursday thoughts is the ups and downs. And if you're in sales, if you're in business, if you're alive and breathing, you deal with a lot of ups and downs, right? Especially in sales and business. So how this works, and I'll be preaching to the choir because you guys all know, but you'll have a few sales. You'll get started in sales. You'll get started in your business, use your side hustle, whatever it is, and you'll have a few sales come through and like everything starts to go well and like everything's going great and it's amazing and you're crushing it and you feel amazing and you're excited and you're like, everything's awesome and you're just like, dude, I'm going to be a millionaire in 42 days from now. And like everything is awesome. And then something happens and the next thing you know, you have no sales, you have nothing coming through, your credit cards are due, your rent is due, your car breaks down, your bank account is low, all your prospects are saying no on the phone, and you start to feel this plummet, right? And you feel terrible, you're stressed, you're worried, you're tired. If something doesn't change, you're going to be broke and you're going to be out on the streets in 23 days. Who's felt this? I'll be the first to raise my hand. Blow up the little like thingies or whatever. So everybody's felt like this, right? Everybody's had these times where they're like, holy shit, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go broke, I'm gonna look like a failure, I'm gonna look like a fraud, everybody's gonna think that I don't know what I'm doing, that I'm an idiot, that I'm stupid. We all feel that from time to time. So today I want to talk about the solution. I want to talk about the solution because we're all running into it all the time. We might as well have a solution. So first off, I just want to clarify one thing about these ups and downs, is that a lot of it is emotional, not necessarily logical. And your growth graph isn't a flat line. So I'm really going to expose myself and my terrible artistic ability here. But here I have a little graph, right? And a lot of people think that when they get started in business or once they start doing the right things, their growth is just going to explode. And oftentimes it can. But most people think that it's just going to go straight up. But in reality, there's all these ups and downs along the way, right? And that's what you're feeling every time you're like, amazing, terrible, awesome, this sucks, I'm loving it, I'm gonna die. And the reality of it is these ups and downs are more emotional than they are logical. And here's what I mean, because when you're living your day-to-day life, you're seeing this graph like really zoomed up. All you see is the drop off and you're plummeting, and in that moment you only have this much of the graph. You can only see that big of the picture. And that's why it feels like everything is I love these comments 100%. And you're in that moment, you see this small window and everything, it feels like your entire world is just crashing down. But that's why it's so important to have self-awareness, because self-awareness allows us to take that graph and instead of being zoomed in, to zoom out and look, oh shit, I actually am making some progress. Things are going, I am going. And you know, it's not going to continue to go down like this for forever. You know, in the next couple of days, something will happen, something will break through. So that's why we hit on self-awareness so hard. That's why we're talking about this, because it's allowing yourself to step back and see yourself for the full graph, to step back and see yourself. You can walk through this in your head. If you're feeling stressed out about money, or if you're feeling like your deals aren't closing or whatever it is, step back, you know, stop, think through it, visualize yourself zooming out on that graph, looking at the bigger picture. And this is why Mark, a few times on these calls, has talked about, think about and remember where you were a year from today. And if you look back a year from now, you'll probably be like, oh shit, like I really came a long way. Because a lot of times we don't give ourselves the credit that is due because we just see where we're at right now. We have these goals that we want to achieve, but if you look back a year from now, you'll probably be pretty impressed on how far you've come. And I know a lot of you guys on here, you guys have seriously improved in the last year. So definitely give yourselves some more credit and zoom out. Look at that full graph. So now that we understand that most of the ups and downs are more emotional than they are logical, let's talk about some ways to minimize those emotional ups and downs. So fortunately for you guys, it's super easy to remember. It's exactly what we stand for here at Winner Circle, but it's called going ham. Habits, association, movements. Habits, association, movements. Movement. So step number one is habits. Doing the right thing daily with focus and intention is our definition of habits. And that's why every single day we show up on these calls. Every single day we show up for battle when we prepare ourselves for what inevitably is going to happen throughout the day, so that we're proactive and that we're in control, we're dominating our day rather than getting whacked when something bad happens. Instead of being reactive, we're proactive, and we're setting that intention and that focus, and we're showing up sharp, lethal, and dominant every single day. And that's what makes a difference, because once you start to have that consistency from yourself as a person, then the things that come at you, the things that hit you, they just don't knock you off near as much. And then the second thing is association. Associating with like-minded people and building personal belief. So association is like climbing a mountain, but you get to clip into a safety net of other climbers. You know, even the most experienced and audacious and successful mountain climbers, mountaineers, you know, when they climb these extremely high mountains with like crazy temperatures and winds and snowstorms and everything, even those guys tie themselves together. They'll go in a group of 4, they'll spread out, and they're all linked together with a rope, because there can be like 100-foot crevices under these glaciers that are just thin snow, and if one guy falls through, they're dead. Like, they're never coming back. So that's why they have this rope that secures people together, because if one guy falls, the other guys will secure them. And that's exactly what we do here in Winter Circle. If one person falls, everybody else will be able to support them. That's why you have that safety net, safety rope to really tie into. So, and then also giving you the belief to see what's possible, calling you out on your bullshit so you stop playing so small. You know, for some reason, we get these ideas of what's possible. We get these ideas of, oh, here's what I can achieve. But when you see someone else go out and totally crush it and dominate, then you start to be like, oh, well, I was there. Jared went and sold this much and crushed it. Or Ben went and blew his business up, or this or that or whatever. Like, seeing what's possible and expanding your horizon of what your targets are is super important. And that's why you build that belief as well. And then movement, creating momentum through swift, massive action. A lot of times when we're talking about that graph, a lot of times we have these ups and downs is because we'll be going up the graph, we'll be crushing it, and we're like, dude, I don't really have to do anything. You know, I'm going to be a millionaire in 42 days anyway, so I might as well just chill. And then you chill, and then as soon as you let off the gas, that's when everything starts to crash. Because the results you're experiencing today, right now, are in direct result from what you did a week ago, a month ago, 3 months ago. And it's got this delayed response to the actions that you're taking. And that's why when you let off the gas, it doesn't really seem like anything's happening right away. But then 3 months down the line, you get this air in the pipeline, or you get this problem, and you're like, crap, what's going on? I had to get my stuff back together. And that's why you have those ups and downs, because the results you're experiencing right now are a delayed response to the actions, the inputs, the thoughts that you had 3 months ago. So don't let off the gas. Habits, association, movement. Go ham or go home. You heard. So that's what I got for you guys here today. I hope this helps. I hope the next time you experience the ups and downs in business, the ups and downs in sales, the ups and downs in life, you will remember this and picture that graph, this little scriggly, crappy graph that, you know, remember my bad handwriting, and think about zooming out on that graph, looking at the full picture, and really giving yourself the credit that it's due, and knowing things will come back around. All I got to do, show up with the right habits, surround myself with the right association, take the right movement, create momentum. So that's what I got for you guys today.